November 6, 2021, and 1 a.m. on November 7, 2021. The surveillance video contained in People's Exhibit 15.
Day 7.
True and correct copy of that video. The system, video, date, and timestamp are approximately 2 to 3 minutes faster than actual time. You could stipulate.
So stipulated by the judge?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think you and I have spoken before.
Yes,
Chatted,
we have.
you know, the witness stand, that preliminary hearing in November 2023, right?
Correct.
By the way, let me just start out where you finished off. You had some questions about when you personally were made aware of one of the issues raised by the defense of Mr. Mayor's being in possession of a prop gun, and you said it was fairly recently before the trial started, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Obviously, you never spoke to Mr. Mayor's from the day of the incident till today.
Correct.
All right. You never spoke to 12E from the day of the incident till today.
Correct.
All right, you never spoke to Blue Levin from the day of the incident, correct?
Correct.
All right. You certainly don't know what Mr. Mayor Rocky has told his
Mayor
attorneys
Rocky?
several years ago, do you?
I'm not aware.
Oh. And of course, you know, there's no depositions in criminal cases, correct?
Correct.
All right. So basically what you're being asked.
I just got here, so I'm
questions
trying to
related
figure everything
discovery
out.
Disclosure in a criminal case, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. One second. All right, sir. So you were assigned to investigate this case, I think it was November 9th
November 9th.
of 2021.
So that's the investigator.
Correct.
Correct.
And you've been sitting here in court every day at this trial watching every witness?
For the most part, yes.
For the most part, yeah. And as the detective assigned to this case, you're familiar with all the police reports generated in connection with this case?
Yes.
And because police reports are relied on at hearings and trials like this one, as a case detective, you want to ensure that those reports are as complete and accurate as possible, right?
Yes, I mean, they are a summary of the information gathered, but there are other parts of the information that's gathered to go along with that, recordings, interviews, stuff like that, but it's a summary.
Sure. But you want that summary to be as accurate as possible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And as a case detective, you spoke with other officers with knowledge about this case as part of your investigation?
Yes, we did.
And obviously, as a case detective, it's your job to look for all relevant information.
Yes, as much as we can, correct.
For example, you reviewed and retrieved the video recordings pertaining to this incident,
Correct, we
some of
did.
which we talked about and just seen, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. 1616 East Del Mar is one, right?
Yes.
6200 Hollywood is Hollywood
ASAP
Boulevard.
Rocky.
Yes.
Hollywood Boulevard is another. Yes, sir.
Correct.
All right.
There he is.
And you
There
retrieved
he
the
is.
East Del Mar video on November 9th, 2021.
That's correct.
Okay, and the Hollywood Boulevard video, I think it was a few weeks later, November 18th.
I believe that is correct.
Now, on November 8th, 2021, law enforcement received 2 9mm Luger shell casings from Mr. Airline.
Correct, per the initial crime report, yes.
And those shell casings were submitted to the fingerprint analysis lab about 2 weeks later on November 21st, 2020.
I believe that's when they were tested, yes.
You know familiar that the fingerprints can typically be left behind on bullets when they're touched and loaded in a firearm, right?
There is always a possibility anything that's touched can leave a fingerprint.
So that guy shot somebody or something. Maybe. So the trial started on January 24th, 2025. ASAP Rocky has pleaded not guilty to 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. If convicted, he could face up to 24 years in prison.
Yes, sir.
Terrell
And the
Efron.
latent print lab, the LAPD latent print lab unit completed its fingerprint analysis of those two shell casings on November 23rd, 2020.
So they're questioning about some shell casings.
And after examining the casings provided by Mr. Efron, law enforcement lifted exactly 0 fingerprints off them, correct?
That's correct.
So 0 fingerprints on the casings.
So there were no fingerprints of anyone on those shell casings.
That's correct.
Interesting.
On April 20th of 2022, so we're fast forwarding a little bit, you secured a search warrant to obtain DNA swabs from Mr. Mayers.
Correct, that was included in the search warrant for that date that it was executed.
Right. And in order to obtain that search warrant, you swore to a judge that DNA from Mr. Mayers was clearly necessary for analysis for probable cause purposes as well as evidential purposes.
Yes, to include potential evidence that could be in custody or that could be collected at some point during the investigation. A comparison can be made. If any evidence that we have or collect along the way can be compared
Alright.
to.
I'm gonna go oops.
And after
Alright, sounds
getting
good.
the search warrant for Mr. Mayer's DNA, you took samples of his saliva on April 20th, 2022.
Yes, as part of that arrest, there were samples taken.
Later. Good luck.
And although you affirmed that DNA was
Thank
clearly
you.
necessary as part of the case, law enforcement never submitted anything for DNA analysis in this case.
Correct, we didn't collect or have anything further to compare it to, at least to this point. Correct.
So they only checked for fingerprints,
Um,
no DNA.
The alleged altercation between Mr. Efron and Mr. Mayers took place on November 6, 2021, around 10:17 p.m.
Yes, sir.
In particular, Mr. Efron claimed he was shot at the corner of East Del Mar and Selma Avenue.
Yes, in that area.
And according to the video footage obtained
that's
by you,
Terrell
from
Efron is,
1616 East Del Mar,
Testified about the
the
incident,
physical
describing that ASAP
altercation
Rocky
lasted about
allegedly
25 seconds.
fired at him during a confrontation. There's contention over the weapon used, with the defense claiming it was a prop gun, while prosecutors have introduced ballistic reports suggesting it was real firearm.
According to you, based on your
Surveillance
knowledge
footage has
from
been
the
shown in court
investigation,
capturing moments of the altercation, but not the actual
of the videos in this case,
shooting.
After leaving the scene
plea
of the
deal.
altercation at
Rocky
around
rejected plea deal
10:17,
that would have him
Mr.
serve
Efron
180 days in
initially
jail,
claimed he returned
believing
to
it would
the
harm
scene
his
around
career.
11:09.
This has led to the current trial where he faces much more severe potential penalties.
Vague as to what he's talking about when Mr. Efron did this.
Vegas. Then on address, 11:09, we have a minute.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure about the exact time, but I think he roughly said within an hour of the incident.
Now your smartphone can help you do something really smart.
Right, Dad. Like adjust your mattress to the right firmness for you. With
Okay, go to the plenary.
Long
hearing,
Beach.
I'll just read the question and answer.
Reject the proper impeachment.
I'm trying not to be
I don't
vague.
see it as being impeached. Why don't you just clarify what it was that,
Mr. Efron told you 52 minutes more later, he came back to the scene, correct?
I don't recall him saying the exact time, but I do recall him saying roughly within an hour after the initial incident. He returned.
And you got that from watching the videos, correct?
On first review, yes, that's what I believe. It's consistent.
And I understand your testimony has now changed to say you don't think it's him, but initially, you certainly thought that person we saw was him
Yes.
at 11:09, right?
Yes, that was my belief.
Okay. And to you at least, that was Mr. Efron in the videos,
That was my belief because it was consistent with the time frame that he provided.
right? It was consistent with what Mr. Efron told law enforcement.
Correct. Within the hour estimate.
Okay. And that person, whoever that person was, Mr. Efron initially said it was him, you believe it was him initially, leaves the scene at 11:11 p.m., 2 minutes later.
Roughly.
Reject the first part of this question seems a fact, not evidence.
No, it's not in evidence.
all right, stop, read the question back.
And that person, whoever that person was, Mr. Efron initially said it was him. Want me to read it again?
So Mr. Efron is the guy that got shot at by ASAP Rocky, or so he claims.
I frankly don't remember this.
You weren't so comfortable.
And they're saying ASAP Rocky's saying that's not true. It was a prop gun.
That's what my question was. I know now it's changed, the whole Mr. Efron thing. But initially, he said it was him. So whoever that person was, I started my question out with, who Mr. Efron initially said was him, left the scene 2 minutes later.
I don't know if it's negligence or not. I can't remember every single.
You just said it. Then I would change the objection to being argumentative. If he wants to ask, did that person leave within 2 minutes, I have no problem with that. But we don't need the argumentative part at the beginning of that question.
Your Honor, I'm not. Hold on a second, I can do this easy.
Read the
Did
question.
Mr. Efron initially say that that was him?
I don't recall if he used those words exactly. I believe he made a comment that may have indicated that, but
Well, for instance, you were here when he testified at this trial.
correct.
Do you remember when he said at this trial in front of the jury that he was sure that that was him?
Yes,
Okay. So, just a week ago, or a few days ago, Mr. Efron said that was him, correct?
correct.
So whoever that person was, that person that Mr. Efron swore it was him to this jury initially, left 2 minutes later.
Roughly within 2 minutes, that person left.
Objection to the prompt, as phrased.
Yes.
And to be clear, you observed all the video footage that was recovered in this case.
Yes,
So that must be like an investigator or something for LAPD
So,
or
if
something.
that is not, the new position is not Mr. Efron, at least you don't think it's Mr. Efron. Based on your testimony today, you have absolutely no video showing Mr. Efron ever returning to the scene, correct?
correct.
So Mr. Efron claimed he returned to the scene, but they're saying he never did. So they're just trying to find like the discrepancies, I guess, in the story. I just got here, so I'm trying to catch up as fast as possible. I didn't even know this had happened.
Now, amongst the video you reviewed in this case was a body cam footage, one by officers at the scene who responded that night, correct?
Correct.
You watched that? Okay.
Yes,
And you are aware, before Mr. Efron or whoever that person was returned to the scene 52 minutes later, law enforcement had arrived.
yes,
And certainly before, if Mr. Efron returned to the scene, certainly before Mr. Efron.
I think this guy's name is Joe Tacopina.
correct.
And the police arrived at the scene about 18 minutes after the incident.
Yes, roughly.
And there were at least 7 officers there.
Yes,
And while they were at the scene of the incident, 18 minutes after it ended, these 7 officers were canvassing the area.
yes, they were walking in and about the area of Selma and Bismarck.
And you saw
Yeah,
them.
the
on
cops
video
wouldn't have
search the
footage
area.
because
So,
they show
yes,
up after they
Yes,
get called.
parking lot,
So
yes,
Yeah, using the flashlights,
correct,
looking on the ground. You saw them.
yes,
I know you know this answer, I've been asking that way. You know law enforcement did not cover any casings in this case, correct?
correct. The officer who responded did not find or recover any cases.
No officers ever recovered any shell casings.
No.
on the scene, right?
No, you're asking from the radio call, the officer who responded initially? No.
Yes. Or any other police officer recover any casings from the scene?
Only the officer at the front desk that, who took the casings.
Yeah, no, my question was from the scene.
Okay, no, not from the scene.
In fact, they didn't locate any sign of shooting, correct?
Correct. Other than the radio call.
Right. But that's a call, and you heard Officer Zizzo testify, I think it's Sergeant Zizzo now, you heard him testify, a lot of people make calls, or they can be misinterpreting things, correct? You heard that.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of reasons. Sometimes people are just not, don't stick around after.
But in any event, you do agree that the officers who arrived 18 minutes later didn't locate any sign of a shooting.
That's correct.
And despite that, as shown on the video, after the police left and Mr. Efron returned to the scene, he supposedly located the shell casings by himself without a flashlight within minutes.
We're going to object as soon as the fact, not evidence.
I believe he said he used the light on his phone and he located it.
within minutes.
Yes,
You were in this courtroom when Mr. Efron testified that this individual named 12E had a knife during this incident, right?
yes,
And you're familiar with a summary investigative report related to this case dated August 5th, 2022, sir, yes?
yes, I am.
And that's a collective sort of prior statements and a summary of the investigation overall.
That is a specifically, that was a filing summary.
And that's what you use to file the case with the district attorney's office.
Correct.
All right. So obviously, in that report, you certainly wouldn't want there to be any accuracies, right?
Correct.
All right.
It just, as it relates to the crime, yes, correct.
That's related to the crime.
Yes, sir.
Your name is on that report, right, sir?
My name is on the report.
And what you wrote in the last line, the first page of this report, the collective statements, is that the victim observed Ulunga, meaning ASAP Hills, was armed with a knife. Did you write that?
I didn't author this report.
Okay. Is it in that report?
It is in that report.
Okay. So some police officer wrote that.
Yes,
Who, do you know?
I believe that was my partner, Detective Conch.
Where do you go?
I would hate to
You
be
see
up
it,
there.
right?
He was in the back, I didn't look at the property.
He's gone. But he was there. The guy was
Yeah,
there.
yeah, he's been here.
You're right. And it was brought to your attention during the preliminary hearing on November 20th, 2023, that this report said Mr. Efron identified ASAP Hills as the one armed with a knife. We discussed that in the preliminary hearing, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if you thought that that report was inaccurate, you certainly could have asked for that to be changed at any point, correct?
Yes, sir. I mean, but honestly, yes, that was a mistake, but the prior interviews that were recorded of Mr. Efron from
He just admitted to a
the
mistake.
telephone interview on the 9th and the in-person interview on December 17th, 2021, he was consistent on both interviews that the person with the knife was in fact 12E. The report prepared for that August filing, there was an error and it did indicate the wrong person. That is correct.
Well,
So they indicated the
I was
wrong
just asking
person
you,
had a
if
knife.
you thought that report was inaccurate, you could have asked that be changed, correct?
Yes.
And you never did?
No, I mean, I answered your question. I mean, the record, I think, believe, captured through the interviews is clear what Mr. Efron said versus what our mistake was.
No, it's not my question. Did you change your report?
No, we did not generate another report to correct it. Correct.
So, you were here obviously last Tuesday, January 28th, when Mr. Efron testified on the record that he saw a knife being held after Rocky put the alleged gun away, correct?
Correct.
All right. And with regard to the knife, Mr. Efron told police in November of 2021 that he saw the knife being held while Rocky was pointing the alleged gun at him, and he was yelling at Rocky, right?
Correct. I believe that's the way it was described in that crime.
Yeah, it
So
makes
while
sense why Rocky didn't take that
Rocky
plea
pointed
deal
the
now.
gun at him and pointing it at him,
Maybe he knew
he's
it was
seen
wrong.
that simultaneously.
You've seen it during that event, correct?
Not during that event, while the gun is being pointed at him, correct?
That's the way it's described in the report, yes, sir.
You also heard Mr. Efron's testimony last Tuesday, January 28th, that he saw the knife being put away, and he then said, "What the F you got a knife for?" You remember that testimony last week?
Yes, sir.
And in November of 2021, Mr. Efron told the police that only after he said, "Why you got a knife," did that knife get put away. Recall that?
So, ASAP Rocky's
Recall that
argument
specifically, sir?
is that he had a prop gun.
It's 77 in our
Am I getting that right?
database. It's please follow the investigation report from November 9th, 2020.
Sustained, the objection sustained.
What was it found for?
It's improper because it wasn't his report.
This is not the proper person to either refute or confirm what Relli, Efron told some other officer. So the objection sustained. Go on, sir.
Yeah, he just said this. You can't ask this guy. He's not the one to confirm.
There are Many that you saw an arrest warrant on Mr. Mayers on April 13th, 2022.
Correct, that's the date it was signed.
And to be clear, law enforcement received Mr. Efron's complaint 5 months earlier, November 8th, 2021.
When we received it, it would have been the 9th, it was, the initial report was taken on the 8th, correct?
The 8th or the 9th, whatever, 9th of November 2021. You guys, PD, like the station house guy, November 8th, right?
Correct.
On
What
that
do you guys
same day,
think?
law
Is
enforcement
he innocent?
received November 8th, 2 9mm Luger casings from Mr. Efron.
Correct.
The next day, you along with Detectives Camacho and Henry spoke to Mr. Efron again at length.
Yes, telephonically.
By the way, that same day, November 9th, Mr. Efron told you he decided not to become involved in Rocky's music business any longer. You know what I'm saying that?
Jackson Counselor hearsay, overruled.
I believe the statement's the last thing.
And also on November 9th, 2021, law enforcement received surveillance video pertaining to the incident from 1616 East Del Mar
Correct.
and Hollywood Boulevard on November 18th,
Yes.
6200. Yeah, on
Right.
November 18th. And on November 10th, 2021, law enforcement obtained authorization to search T-Mobile information for Elijah Lunga or ASAP Relli's phone number.
Correct, the research warrant.
Sorry.
Yes.
And specifically, the T-Mobile information law enforcement obtained authorized to search Elijah Lunga, ASAP Relli's, his call detail records and his GPS location.
Correct.
And the GPS location tab, I should say.
Yes.
And those records, the GPS location tab that you all were able to obtain, show that Elijah Lunga, ASAP Relli's cell phone, was near Selma Avenue in East Del Mar, approximately 10:12 p.m. on November 6th.
I believe that's correct.
And those records also show that Bill's, I'm just going to refer to this Bill's so it's a little bit.
Yeah, so
ASAP Relli's cell
not
phone
Elijah.
was near
Terrell
Mr. Mayor's
Efron,
residence.
known as ASAP
at
Relli,
11:11
filed a
p.m.
defamation lawsuit
Yes,
against
that's correct.
ASAP Rocky, which is Rakeem Myers' real name, and his attorney
In
Joe
addition to law
Tacopina.
enforcement gaining access, by the way, you also gained access to Mr. Efron's cell phone, correct?
Subsequent to his arrest, the physical phone, yes.
Yes.
No.
No, Mr. Efron.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Correct, he did, voluntarily.
Right. That was in November 2020.
Yes.
Correct.
Correct.
So you had access to his phone.
Yes, we did.
By the way, did he mention that he had deleted any messages before you had that phone?
I don't remember asking him specifically if he had.
Or did he volunteer?
I don't recall that it was volunteer.
Oh. Particularly with the guy who was making this complaint about, this guy, ASAP Rocky, did he mention they had deleted messages between him?
Correct, nothing was volunteered as far as that.
And you wouldn't know to ask that, obviously, right?
He was cooperative and provided his phone.
Right. You wouldn't know to ask that, I said.
I wouldn't know.
Right. And the information on that phone contained Mr. Efron's communications, as far as you knew, with Mr. Mayers, with Ills, and 12.
Correct.
And as of November 2021, law enforcement had Mr. Efron's statement, 1, correct?
Correct.
Cell phone records, 2, yes.
I believe so, by that point.
Video of the incident.
Some of it is correct.
Well, which video did you not have by the end of November 2021?
The end of November, correct. I thought you said November 17th, but I thought you.
No. So, because the last video you got on November 8th, right?
Correct.
So let's again. In the month of November 2021, you had the collective police officers and law enforcement
Correct.
had Mr. Efron's statement. Yes.
Yes, sir?
You had cell phone records in this case.
Yes.
You had video of the incident.
Correct,
and you had 2 shell cases provided by Mr. Efron.
correct.
But you still waited another 5 months until April of 2022 to arrest Mr. Mays.
Yes, I mean, there were other factors involved.
Yes or yes?
Yes,
And during those 5 months, from November 2021 until Mr.
So he's
Mayor's
questioning
arrest
why
in
it took so
April
long.
2022,
And what happened in between?
law enforcement recovered nothing else, no additional evidence to use against Mr. Mays, correct?
correct.
So in those 5 months, no new evidence.
During those 5 months, law enforcement never contacted 12E, never tried to find 12E or contacted him, correct?
No, we never were able to contact him.
Able, did you try?
No, I'm sorry, at that point, no.
Okay. And you understood that 12E was present during the incident, obviously?
Correct. We understood, they were present, they were all acquainted.
And obviously, he would be an important potential witness in this case.
Could be.
He was there, right?
Yes, sir?
And you testified as the case detective, it's your job to look for all relevant information, right?
Correct.
So to be clear, you arrested Mr. Mayers without even trying to speak to 12E.
Objection recommended.
Sustained.
Let's now move over to the house search that you conducted, okay? So this was on April 21st, you conducted the extensive search of Mr. Mayers' residence, correct?
Yes, April 20th, 2022.
And during the search, aside from what we all saw, and we'll get into that when we ask you about those things, you also saw boxes in his residence, right?
I'm sorry?
Boxes, like cardboard boxes.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna just show you the picture of these things. I guess we'll identify them as we go through the new exhibit to each one.
Oh, these have not been marked.
Correct.
All right, your next exhibit is W is in William.
Is it easier for you to see back there, or is it just being added?
It's easier to see behind
Okay,
it.
so you could turn around with it. This is W, Jordan?
Yes, W.
Okay. That's one of the photos you see, things packed in cardboard boxes there.
Correct.
Did you learn whether or not Mr. Mayers is in the process of removal at this point?
I was not aware that he was in the process.
How about the next one is? That would be defense.
X, as an X-ray.
You see those boxes there?
Yes, I do.
By the way, can I go back to the last photo, the W, I think? Those cardboard boxes that you see in this photo, did you search those?
The closed boxes, no.
I'm gonna just look for, I know you said on that text. Those boxes. Did you say?
Correct.
Oh, closed boxes.
Yes,
Oh, I
sealed
think you said
boxes.
closed, okay, closed. Closed boxes, sealed, okay. So you did not search those?
No.
Okay, next, please. No, the other one's lessons. Okay, this one too. Did you search any of those bags or boxes there?
I don't recall going through them myself. I know the rooms that were gone through.
I'm sorry?
I did not go through that room myself. I don't recall going through that room. But I know each room was searched by part of the team.
So if that room was searched and those boxes were searched, would there be a report on that?
If there was anything, again, found relative to the investigation, like items that were highlighted that were listed, yes.
Well, you agree that those sealed boxes obviously weren't searched, correct?
Correct.
All right. The next one, please, which will be defense.
Y as in Young.
Wise and Young. Same thing here, Wise and Young, that's Wise and Young. That box wasn't searched right there, correct?
Correct.
All right. Next,
C is in Zebra.
please, Zebra. Those suitcases, were they opened and searched, do you know?
I don't recall specifically from my memory.
Imagine having to look through all that stuff.
Next,
AA, Adam.
AA. Same question. The
Correct.
sealed boxes were not opened and searched, correct?
Correct.
All right. Is that it?
One more.
One more.
BB.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
So much stuff in there. Yo, that sign is cool though, the
A lot of
Pepsi
colors and a
sign.
lot of things there, but any of these sealed boxes that you see in the photo there.
No.
ASAP has
they
some
were
good
not
taste.
certified.
See Terminator back there.
And during the search, law enforcement did not recover a 9mm firearm, correct?
That's correct.
You did recover a 9mm, Glock 9mm magazine,
That's correct.
and it was full, correct?
Yes, it was to capacity, 6
Right.
rounds.
Did you ever take the prints off of that magazine?
No,
Never printed that magazine?
no.
You were capable of doing that, correct?
Yes, sir, since it came from his bedroom, I didn't have it processed.
Okay. And there were 6 Sig Luger 9mm cartridges, right?
In the magazine?
Yeah,
Yes.
in the magazine, right? The 9mm cartridges were not loose or anything, they're
No.
inside that magazine. And that 9mm magazine, those 6 cartridges in the box, they were found in the box containing other magazines and other cartridges that were not 9mm.
That's correct.
We show the pictures of the 2.
I wonder if he's nervous. Or if he has to take a piss or anything.
So what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to show you real quickly.
I would
something
hate
you've
to
already
be up there.
seen, but you may have seen it too then. Just the pictures of the 2 shell casings recovered by Mr. Efron and the 6 shell casings recovered inside the magazine.
Okay.
So the ones on the left there are say Sig. You see those?
This is the defense exhibit?
It is, right?
Okay, this is going
Mark
to
this
be
way.
CC.
One's on the left, right there, so yes, those are the Sig Luger 9mm cartridges.
Yes, these are the live rounds that were recovered from the magazine that contained within the magazine.
Okay. And those are different cartridges, obviously. The brand of the one on the right is what's called FC or Federal.
Yeah, FC Luger
Right,
on the right are the spent casings,
right. And Sig is the other one.
and the live rounds are Sig, I'm sorry, Sig.
Sig Sauer?
6 hour Luger.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
So
You
the
also
lawyer basically
recovered,
trying to prove that what they found was different than the live ammunition that was found in ASAP Relli's room.
Rifle magazines as well.
Correct.
Let's see where he's gonna go next.
As part of your investigation, you learned that Mr. Mayers was licensed to possess firearms. As part of your investigation, did you learn whether or not Mr. Mayers was licensed to carry firearms?
Objection,
Calls for yes or no.
Nothing I can confirm, but I heard he did.
You did, okay. And did those 2,
Anything after nothing I could confirm as being non-responsive.
Sustain, the answer's true.
and
Calls for yes.
the 2, the one gun, what was it called? You know the name of that 44 Magnum?
Desert Eagle.
Desert Eagle. Desert Eagle. That was Mr. Mayers. That was registered to Mr. Mayers.
Correct.
Right, registered to Mr. Mayers.
Yes.
Object is again, closer here, so.
Overruled.
And the rifle was also registered to Mr. Mayers.
Second objection.
Overruled. That's right.
Okay. Meaning legally registered to him, correct?
Yes, both those weapons are registered.
And the other weapon, gun, whatever you call it, that was recovered was the shotgun.
It was a shot.
And that was registered to an individual named Lou Levin.
I don't remember who
Somebody's
specifically
name was
registered
Blue
to.
Letter?
It was a legal.
It was a legal weapon.
Correct.
Also, all 3 were legal weapons.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, that shotgun was given back to its rightful owner before he left the scene, correct?
I don't recall if it was returned before that Mr. Levy took it. That's just my recollection.
Okay, it's okay. Well, what would refresh your recollection?
I don't know for certain. Obviously, Mr. Levy took possession of the house when we left. He took charge of the house, and what he removed after that, I'm not aware.
Okay. I'm talking about what he removed, I'm talking about what you removed. You removed the 2 guns registered to Mr. Matus, correct?
No.
You're saying you left them in the house?
Yes.
You sure about that?
Yes.
So you left those 2, the Magnum and the rifle in the house?
Yes.
And obviously the shotgun you left there as well?
Yes, those are all legal weapons. And
All legal
not part of what our search warrant encompassed.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so none of the guns they found were part of the search warrant, so they left it there because it's illegal. I don't know what this lawyer's trying to hunt out of him though.
By the way, you never asked Mr. Efron if he had firearms back in November of 2021, did you?
I don't recall asking him. I do recall making inquiries as far as runs or checks. And I
So he
don't
never
recall
asked
finding any
Efron, the
information
guy that's
during that period
saying
of time.
ASAP shot him, if they had guns, but he said they ran some checks and something.
I'm going to read from the preliminary hearing, page 271, lines 2 to 4. And the one's right.
What purpose is this for?
Impeachment, you just said, don't pull that.
And it would be, it's not impeachment, it would be refresh.
Okay, for refresh.
Just volume 1 or volume 2?
Volume 2.
What's the page?
Page 271, Your Honor, lines 2 through 4.
This guy smokes cigars for sure.
Sorry, yes, of course.
What lines?
2 through 4.
Like 2 to 4.
Fair game.
I'm gonna
Fair game.
It's fair game.
Referee says fair
And
game.
you were asked by
You
the,
follow it up if you want.
did you ever ask Mr. Efron if he had firearms back in 2021? Answer, not specifically. Now, you were here the other day when it was revealed that Mr. Efron was on a firing range in Los Angeles in October, late October 2021, correct?
Correct.
He's bringing up a firing range. Visited a firing range. Mr. Efron, the guy blaming ASAP. Where's he going with this?
By the way, the search of the house had 21 officers, more or less.
More or less.
When you spoke to Mr. Efron on November 9th, 2021, Mr. Efron told you that he believed he was grazed on his left hand knuckle area.
object, seems facts, non-negatives, not talk to one
I'm sorry? He did not lie?
Opinion?
You have to inquire whether he said that. You're saying when the detective spoke to him, it assumes that that's what Efron said. So ask him if Efron said that.
Okay, this is cross.
I know.
Okay. So on November 9th, 2021, did Mr. Efron tell you that he believed he was grazed on his left knuckle area?
Yes.
And despite supposedly being grazed by a bullet on November 6, 2021, Mr. Efron did not seek medical attention until returning to New York.
That's my understanding, yes.
And even though Mr. Efron waited to fly across country to receive medical treatment, obviously there are hospitals in Los Angeles that could have treated him, this injury, whatever it was.
Yes, sir.
So Efron didn't receive
Fact is,
medical
Mr.
attention
Efron
in Los
only went
Angeles.
to
He
the
decided to go
hospital
home
After
and get
the
medical
man
attention at home.
on November 9, 2021, during a phone call, told him that he needs to go get medical attention or medically treated because of the type of case that this is, correct?
Objection, calls for speculation.
Okay, Your Honor, there's tape in evidence that I'll.
Referee jumped in again.
We have the clip.
I would object to hearsay.
In evidence.
Oh, they're live
Jury's
streaming
already
too.
heard.
Look at them. They got their gimbal.
It's evidence.
Technically, it is hearsay, go on to something else. The jury's already heard it, you play it in final argument.
Hearsay.
Okay, did you hear it? Did you hear it?
I remember the comment, I think remember that line of questioning, and I think I made a comment prior to that as well.
Okay.
And I think in the context that he was making a comment about his injury, and I think I also suggested he should get it looked at, and I think that's when Detective Menifee also made her statement.
Her statement was that he needs to go get medically treated because of the type of case that this is, correct?
I believe that's the context.
And with regard to his statements, Mr. Efron first reported this incident to the police, again, just to be clear, 2 days later, November 8th, 2021.
Correct.
He didn't call 911,
No,
didn't go to the police on November 6th, 2021.
that's correct.
Waited 2 days before reporting to law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
And when he did finally walk to a police station in Los Angeles to report it to law enforcement, he did so in person with his attorney, Brian Hurwitz.
Yes.
And
So
you
when
were here
Efron
last
came
week
back, he came back with his
when
attorney.
Mr. Efron testified
Los
on
Angeles.
cross-examination.
Maybe that's why he had
He
to go
did not
home.
recall telling law enforcement that he told an attorney, Brian Hurwitz, who told him to retrieve the shell casings from the scene. Were you here, sir?
Object is to relevance.
Were you here when you said that?
I believe I was.
But when Mr. Efron reported the incident to the police, he did, in fact, make that claim, correct? He told the police that after the alleged shooting, he called attorney Brian Hurwitz, and that Mr. Hurwitz told him to return to the scene of the altercation and retrieve the shell casings. Do you remember that?
Vague
Sure.
as to what he's talking about.
So Mr. Horowitz, whoever that is, told Efron to return to the scene
When
and
Mr.
get
Efron
the
reported
shell
the incident to
casings.
the police, he did in fact make that claim, correct? He told the police that after the alleged shooting, he called attorney Brian Horowitz, and that Mr. Horowitz told him to return to the scene of the altercation and retrieve the shell casings.
His attorney told him that. Makes sense.
Vague. He's saying
It is,
he
yeah,
told
it's
the
just-
police.
it is.
He told you that Brian Hurwitz, his attorney, instructed him to return to the scene to retrieve the shell casings, correct?
They knew they had a lawsuit on their hands. That's why they had to return.
And he was given advice to go back. I don't remember the sequence of phone calls with Mr. Horowitz.
Okay, let me see if I can refresh your recollection. I'm gonna show you your report.
Okay.
75, it's the August 5th, 2022.
Is this the first page?
Second page.
22, so weird, but.
Yeah.
I'm starting to figure out what's going on here. They had their altercation. Then ASAP Rocky allegedly shot at Efron. Then Efron was probably mad, went home, told his lawyer. Lawyer's like, hey, we got a case. You gotta go back though to the crime scene and you gotta retrieve those shell casings. And that's as far as we've gone right now. That's how much I understand. This is great, I'm learning. Who's that? Who's that? ASAP's just like, bruh. Can I go home? I need to go make music.
Find the lowest priced health plans at healthforcalifornia.com. Get a quote in 30 seconds. Find top carriers like Anthem, Kaiser, Blue Shield, and more. Lowest prices, simple process, healthforcalifornia.com.
Not everyone's life runs in straight lines. At Sophia, we get that. Our flexible, affordable, self-paced college-level courses help thousands of people just like you complete their degrees, for only $99 a month.
Taking a break, I guess? Taking a little breather? Yeah, I think they're like, I don't know. Just stopped. Should we see if there's another stream? Let's see if there's another stream. Here, this is what ASAP Relli, his name. This is his accusation.
Good morning, gangster. Speaking of saying, you always said 3 or 4 shots. You talked about Wally Sajiki the other day. You remember Wally?
I don't remember. I mean,
you don't know who Wally is? Sorry?
Let's go, Mr. Tucker. We know let's go.
Well, we're gonna go when you answer my question. You know who Wally is?
I do.
Okay. In fact, you told Wally he shot you 5 times, right?
No, I didn't.
You didn't say it?
No, I didn't.
And by the way, speaking of Wally, last Thursday was my first day of cross-examination of you, and I asked you about a statement you made to Wally that morning.
The question came in terms of that morning. Sustain us another. You mean the morning?
The morning of the examination, yes, sir. The morning of the examination last Thursday, I asked you questions about Wally. Two statements you may have made to Wally, which you denied. At the lunch break, Mr. Efron, you called Wally, correct?
I called him after everything because, I mean, you guys got y'all whipping up lies over here. None of it, you have no evidence to back that up.
You're not answering his question. He's talking about the lunch break.
Just accused the lawyer of being
And
a
I'm not,
liar.
and I'm
Mr.
allowed
Efron, wait. Ask the question again.
So after Wally's name was brought up on cross-examination by me, the statements you made on the recordings that you say were fake, you called Wally.
That's a compound question.
It is.
3 questions.
All right. You were inquiring about whether he made a phone call at the lunch on the lunch break following your beginning your cross-examination.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the question? All right. Did you call Wally during the lunch break?
No.
Did you call him after court?
Yes, I did.
Oh. And why did you call Wally?
Because, I mean, you guys is just lying, lies after lies. You can't back it up. These guys,
We can't back it up.
I mean, you can't. You can't.
Did you hear the tape recording?
That's
All right.
Efron accusing the lawyer
Ask another question.
of lying and making up.
I guess we'll see about
recordings.
that, right?
Get ready for the big game with Spectrum. Bring your entire family together for the...
Let's see if it's back, but we'll get more snippets. it's returning. It's coming back now. They're just like talking amongst themselves, probably where they want to go. They'll go after this.
This, if I can speak this along. Do you remember in search of Mr. Efron's phone records, there not being a call to Mr. Hurwitz until a few days later?
I recall at some point after. Yes.
After.
Correct.
All right, that's, you know what, that's fine.
At least directly, that show up directly.
Right. But certainly not on November 6th, going into the morning of November 7th.
Again, nothing directly.
Directly as opposed to indirectly.
A three-way call, somebody three-way call, anything like that.
Did you see any indication of a three-way call on the phone records?
I don't know that it would necessarily reflect three-way calls, just a direct call to somebody. But again, not that I'm aware of until after.
Well, did you see any calls between time of the 10:17 and 11:09, for example, from Ms. Efron's phone?
I don't recall seeing any calls between that time.
As detective, you'd agree, when conducting an investigation of an alleged shooting, you wouldn't want anyone who's not law enforcement moving evidence or taking evidence from the scene, right?
Correct.
Because that could tamper with and hinder your investigation.
It can.
Now, you interviewed Mr. Efron's girlfriend, correct?
Correct.
Ms. Parker?
Yes.
You never took Ms. Parker's phone?
No.
Okay. So therefore, obviously, you never examined it to see what texts or calls have been made from it?
Not from her phone, physically, no.
You said you saw the videos in this case?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
You never saw a video with Ms. Parker returning to the scene?
None that were collected, no.
And I want to ask a question, but I'm not going to follow the court's ruling, and it's a question that would be prejudicial to them if I asked it and you.
All right, why
So
don't
what
you
I-
want to, off the record, let me know what it is.
Yeah.
They'll let him know what questions you're gonna ask. That's why they keep putting it up like that. He needs to go ask the lawyer or the judge. Yeah, he needs to go ask the judge if he can ask his question, or is it whatever, prejudice or something. We'll see. He'll be back. It's interesting so far. I don't know. I don't have a judgment either way yet. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't have a judgment. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what's going on. I got a basic outline, but I want more details, and I want the other side to ask questions now. If you guys are watching, comment down below if you guys have been keeping up with the past, I don't know, however many days it's been. And what are you guys' thoughts? Did he shoot him? Did he not?
You saw that, I think we discussed, I don't know if Mr. Persona played it for you, but the in-person interview you did with Mr. Efron in December of 2021, where you showed the video of what was initially him returning to the scene. You saw that here?
Correct.
Okay. And when he was watching the video, he said initially that was him, correct?
Yes, that's what, I mean, he indicated by the form of the question. You're talking about the interview on December 17th?
The interview on December 17th regarding the person returning at 11:09.
Correct.
Yes. That was him, right?
That was, again, what he was indicating in the form of his questioning.
You heard Mr. Efron's testimony regarding that and the evolution of that belief. He first testified here before the jury that that was him. And Mr. Brazilian asked him if he was sure that that was him. You recall that, and then he subsequently changed to that topic.
Objection, argumentative.
It's not argument, that's saying
Sustain to the word evolution.
changed, which I thought was a synonym for evolution, changed into it wasn't. You saw that testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And you heard Mr. Efron say his girlfriend was there, but he then said maybe she was in the parking lot. You remember Mr. saying that?
Correct.
Meaning that may be the reason why she's not on video?
Correct.
Okay. And then Mr. Brazilian asked him about the clothes being different, like he did with you just now. You remember what Mr. Efron initially said?
Objection, relevant to hearsay.
He was just asked on the record.
I don't recall his exact response.
You remember him saying, I'm sure that was me, but I probably went and changed my clothes? You remember testifying to that?
I'm sorry, I didn't, sir.
Okay, it's okay. During your in-person interview with Mr. Efron on December 2021, you asked him why he continued to follow Mr. Mayers if he knew he had a gun, right?
Yes.
Because according to you, you told him that would seem to be an odd thing to do.
Yes.
Okay. And when you asked him that, why did he continue to follow Mr. Mayers after seeing a gun, Mr. Efron couldn't give you a clear answer. What he said was, I don't know why.
Objection, argumentative and hearsay.
The first part of the question is argumentative. Excuse me. The first part of the question is argumentative. The second part is not. Read the question back.
What was just on that one?
Hold on.
When you asked him that, why did he continue to follow Mr. Mayers after seeing a gun? Mr. Efron couldn't give you a clear answer. What he
Yeah,
said,
That part?
That part about Efron couldn't give a...
You get what I understand.
Ask the question again.
I'm going to ask it again. When you asked Mr. Efron, why did he continue to follow Mr. Mayers after seeing a gun, what he said was he didn't know why.
Correct.
With respect to the video recovered in this case, which you've seen the image of Mr. Mayers holding an object, which according to you appears to be a gun, you'd agree, without having that object, you cannot help that it's an operable gun, correct?
On the first incident?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
On the video where you see Mr. Mayers holding what appears to be a gun.
Correct. On the parking structure, the first video camera, yes.
Right.
I mean, without anything else appearing on that video other than him holding what I believe to be a handgun, I cannot determine whether or not that's an operational gun or a firearm gun. Correct.
And with regard to the video incident, after reviewing the footage captured from 16 Vista Del Mar, that law enforcement prepared a document entitled Video Download Information Summary. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And in that document, law enforcement described what it could observe in the footage.
Objection, hearsay. Relevant to hearsay.
Which one? Hearsay or relevant? Hearsay. You prepared a document describing what you could observe in the video footage, correct?
Correct. Notes that kind of detail what specifically can timestamp at certain points of different angles.
Break free with the new Opera GX, the browser that puts you in control with a brand new design that frees up even more pixels for personalization and an inventory of features to up your game at every level. Like GX Control to help rein in your resources with integrated limiters for RAM, CPU, and network. A sidebar for direct access to your favorite side quests, streams, and posts. And built-in privacy tools like ad and tracker blockers and free no-log VPN. Check into GX Corner for the latest news, deals, and free games. But what really makes our hit different is Mods, giving you the power to change everything from animated wallpapers to themes, sounds, music, and shaders, so you can change everything. Get Opera GX.
I'm Susan Owen from Opio Injury Law. For nearly 50 years, our firm has been committed to helping people when in need. Experiencing a fire at your home or property is a traumatic event. It's important to stay calm and organized so you can effectively protect yourself, your property, and your future. Ensure your safety, documenting the damage. Don't sign any settlement offers or documents without understanding them. Take care of your well-being. If you need us, we can help. 888-OPIO-WINS or opiolaw.com.
A, where the incident began, where we observed a gun. B, where the struggle took place, and we can see various individuals running in different directions. And then as we move up, collectively we see the next video with sound, where we can hear the gunshots. I mean, it's collectively not just one piece.
Okay, so let me just make sure you understood my question.
Okay.
Again.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Clearly, as part of the investigation, if a gun or a shooting were observed on the video from 1616 BC Del Mar, that's something you would have documented in a summary. Yes?
Yes.
That's it. But that summary that you have, by the way, certainly does not document that a shooting was observed, right?
I mean, not from that angle. It's documented what can actually be observed from that angle, which is, I mean, the view is fuzzy. It gives you an overview of the motion that's going on. But again, pieced together with everything else, it's...
But that document, that summary, does not document that a shooting was observed, right?
Correct. It does not.
In fact, that summary does not even document that a gun was observed in the video from 1616 BC Del Mar.
Correct. That first angle, correct.
So you agree there's, in the video, from the video, there's no evidence in the video from 1616 BC Del Mar that an actual gun was being discharged, correct?
Judge, relevance and video speaks for itself.
Nothing that I could observe in detail that I can see as a gun. Again, it's in frame with everything else, maybe.
Well, here's my question.
Correct.
I mean, laser in on my question.
All right.
All right? Almost done. You agree from the 1616 BC Del Mar video, that's that video, the one that shows the whole struggle and all the fuzzy stuff, right? You agree that there is no evidence from that video of an actual gun being discharged, correct?
Correct. From that view by itself, no.
The sequence surveillance video that you put together overlaps video from the 1616 BC Del Mar video with the audio from the 6200 Hollywood Boulevard video.
Correct.
I don't know, man. This detective or whatever he is, he's pretty on point. I don't think it's not like he's missed
and you did it, right? You basically
correct.
overlapped the video from 1616 BC Del Mar that had no audio, right?
Correct.
Okay. And the audio from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard.
Correct.
And you put them together. And you agree that the 1616 BC Del Mar video, you just said this doesn't have any sound, but the video from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard does.
That's correct, part.
So you overlapped the videos from each location, trying to show when the shot would have occurred during the 1616 BC Del Mar video.
Correct.
Okay. Of course, if the overlap detected is off, even by a fraction of a second, the shot would not have occurred during the precise moment shown on the overlap 1616 BC Del Mar video, correct?
Correct.
And with regard to the 6200 Hollywood Boulevard video, you extracted 3 sets of videos from 3 different cameras maintained by the business at that location.
Correct.
And it's been stipulated, you heard of that, we agreed
Yes,
on something. It's been agreed that the date and timestamp on the 3 cameras from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard are approximately 2 to 3 minutes faster than actual time.
That's correct.
And the reason the cameras are approximately 2 to 3 minutes faster than actual time instead of the exact amount is because each camera's off from an actual time by a different amount.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's not unusual to collect video.
Yes, it's unusual. Okay. I'm saying the reason that you're using a range of 2 to 3 minutes as opposed to 2 minutes and 4 seconds is because each of those cameras is off from actual time by a different amount.
Yes.
For instance, on camera 1, you hear the first shot at 10, 15, 53 seconds. Hold on before we play it. We have to mark this. This is a defense exhibit.
Check to see this states the stipulation.
That's what. What's there?
He's saying the video from 6200 Hollywood was off by 2 to 3 minutes. He's talking about the business, the parking lot entrance, and the
Why don't you two confer? If I don't need to get involved, I don't want to get involved.
You gotta convert, and they're trying to say like cameras of the parking lot or something are 2 minutes in real life. So they're trying to make an argument with that. The judge, aka the referee, is like, listen folks, talk to each other, man.
the 6200 Hollywood.
That's Chat GPT. Did he make his argument for it? I don't know, I haven't seen the previous days, but from what I've seen today, they're not really cracking the investigator. The story seems pretty rock solid. Unless anything changes, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Speculation. Give me your speculation. What do you think is going to happen? Is he be a free man? Or is the story going to stay the way it is? This guy seems a little frazzled, but I'm not going to lie.
6200 Hollywood is a humongous machine. I'm not yet. I'm not yet.
Alright, back at it. They need more time to deliberate. Alright, I wanna search up real quick. ASAP Rocky trial funniest moments. I heard it got a little contentious. Nah. Nah, let's go back. I gotta find those later. Those clips are usually on X.
It's halftime. Time to hit the bathroom.
I just don't like when they
Shower?
they took a camera away
It works.
And start, deliberating for 15
Got 2 more upstairs.
But I get it. They gotta do their thing. Yeah, see? Alright. ASAP Rocky. Any other lives? No, maybe it ended. Live. Oops.
Just a minute. This is, I assume this is foundation.
November 6th.
Yeah. Alright, that's the end of the stream, I guess. I don't know what the hell happened to the live. This one went on break, too.
What's up, fellas?
Dude, he's shoving on the
What's up, fellas?
ASAP, you a little nervous about the trial? How you feeling about the jury selection today?
Our cameras caught ASAP Relli this morning headed into and leaving an LA court as jury selection began in his felony assault trial. The 36-year-old, who faces 24 years in prison if convicted, has pleaded not guilty, and today he rejected a plea deal offer of 180 days in jail, saying, quote, "I respectfully decline."
You concerned about rejecting the plea deal?
ASAP is accused of pointing a semi-automatic weapon and firing it multiple times at his former friend ASAP Relli. Today, the defense...
ASAP Rocky's trial.
Yes.
Set to be starting soon. They were picking.
It started.
It started already? Mm-hmm. They picked jurors, none of them black. Al Sharpton came out and said, yo, give him his fear shot. Don't play no games. ASAP Rocky turned down a plea. Mm-hmm. We reported what that plea was. It was 180 days in jail, 3 years probation.
Turned down
and
180 days? Now
suspended.
He's facing 24 years.
And ASAP Rocky's reply to that as to why he turned it down was that would have been a career ender.
He would have lost his brand deals and lost the ability to tour after that.
He does have a lot of brand deals, so.
So the other side is your freedom?
Well, as long as he wasn't losing Rihanna, I don't care about the brand deals.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. Again, whatever the crime is on video.
And their defense is that was a starter pistol. He has legally owned guns in his house, but he carries a starter pistol with him, which is
to scare people.
Yeah, that's what he carries on him to look like he's carrying. So that's the defense, and they're gonna have people testify it wasn't a real pistol. They know he's known for carrying the starter pistol. So that's, I guess, why they may feel that they could win this.
Mm-hmm.
If he loses at trial, how much time would he have to do?
7 years, right?
10.
Is that the?
You get the maximum sentence, I guess.
No.
3 years probation.
No,
7
he
years
faces a maximum of 24 years.
Holy
crazy.
It's not 7 or 10.
Apologies.
No, but
Apologies.
The dice on that.
Yeah, I might have took the 180.
Did Tory turn down a plea?
Yes.
Yes.
He sure did.
He did.
Black people will turn down a plea.
And honestly, that plea that they gave him, he'd have been out by now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy
I still
part,
got him
but like
coming
he
on pretty
said,
soon.
He couldn't
We
tour
believe in
after
the
or
system. We
something.
believe in, you know.
No, they just got a lot of programs in jail to where you can get your time reduced. You in there mopping.
Making slaps.
Yeah. Oh, you in there chefing it up. Sweeping some nigga's cell. Yeah, nigga reduced this time. Surf doing the same thing.
Let's see if
Get
it's
ready
back.
for Super Bowl licks.
No, that.
Oh shoot, the Super Bowl's coming up. What do you guys think?
That's Super Bowl 59, Gronk.
It's going down live in the Big Easy.
Damn, this thing's been on break for like 10 years.
Welcome back. The trial for hip-hop star ASAP Rocky is what's trending in true crime this morning. Opening statements kick off today. The Grammy-nominated rapper is accused of shooting at a former friend near a Hollywood hotel back in 2021. Rocky's real name is Rakeem Mayers, and he declined a plea offer to spend 180 days in jail ahead of his trial. He faces a maximum sentence of 24 years in prison if he's convicted. Let's take a look at the jury breakdown. We've got 12 jurors who are going to hear this case. 5 of them are men, 7 of them are women. According to TMZ, none of the jurors, including the 4 alternates, are African American. None of them. And we know the defense was taking issue with the pool earlier this week. Now, the defense team plans to call witnesses to testify that the alleged firearm seen on security footage, alleged to be carried by Rocky, was a starter pistol he carried as a prop, pointing to why no shell casings were found at the scene. The surveillance footage is grainy of the actual shooting, maybe hard to identify the shooters wearing a dark hoodie, hard to see the face, and we know that the alleged victim collected the spent cartridge casings himself and brought them to police, which could prove to be problematic. So if you saw my opening statement, you're going to know what we're asking. We're wondering, is this trial going to be a stinker? In other words, is this a bad case for the prosecution? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see what our power panel thinks. Let's bring back in criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Joe Tamburino, and welcome in domestic violence expert and former law enforcement officer Claudia King, and media personality and artist Headcrack. Good morning to you all. Okay, is this one a stinker? Ladies first. Claudia King, what do you say?
It definitely sounds like it, Julie, because the prosecution made that offer of 180 days in jail. To me, that shows that they don't have a ton of confidence in this case if they were going to let it go for just 180 days. It sounds like the video is blurry. It's hard to tell if it's really ASAP Rocky. There's the issue with the shell casings and the fact that the victim turned them over and collected them allegedly. So I just see this being very problematic for the prosecution.
Yeah, great points. Claudia, thank you. Great point about the plea deal. When you have such a sweetheart deal, could mean that, you know, the case stinks. Headcrack, I want to go to you next, please. Your thoughts on this? Is this a stinker or maybe a solid case?
It sounds a little sloppy. And like what she was saying, if they're going to offer you 180 days,
Oh, it ended. It ended. It makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, it ended. I guess they continue tomorrow. I'm just gonna look for some clips because I want to catch up with everything, and then we'll end the stream. So let's see what's going on. I want to get all the news.
Texas was paying the price. Every.
Just raise your right hand for us. Thank you. Okay. This how we state that the testimony may give in the cause now pending for this court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God. And you please take a seat on the witness stand. Make it to you and then you come right. You can please state and spell your name for the record.
Wally Sajani, WALLY-SAJIMI.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Good afternoon, Mrs. Day. What do you, sir, what do you do for a living?
I run a technology software agency where we build website software for clients, musicians, creatives, brands, direct-to-consumer brands, yeah.
And